Hello everyone, and today I'm going to show you my Xbox 360 collection. First things first, Assassin's Creed. I haven't really played this one much yet, so I've been meaning to get around to it. From what I've played, it's pretty good. I'm also meaning to try Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Banjo-Kazooie, which I rather like the old N64 ones. This one's a bit different. It kind of feels like it's ripping off Ratchet and Clank. But not a bad little game. Could have been better, I think. Beijing 2008, which was Sega's serious Olympics game, unlike Mario and Sonic, which were released on the Wii, which was more of a fun, well, not that fun, tiring, shall we say. Blue Dragon, a good JRPG. To say that the Xbox 360 doesn't have that many JRPGs, this was pretty good and designed by the designer of the Dragon Ball Z and the Dragon Quest games. Brutal Legend. Now, this is a very funny game with Jack Black and also Ozzy and Lemmy. And if it were more of the, I'd have enjoyed it more probably if it had been more of the hack and slash adventure kind of and less of the real-time strategy, because I don't think real-time strategy games work that well on consoles. Because they seem more designed for a PC and the keyboard. So if it had been more just of an adventure game, then I thought it would have been a lot better. But good game nonetheless. Dead or Alive 4, pretty good fighting game. Now, the Dead or Alive series is not my favourite fighting series, but it's an enjoyable little fighter nonetheless. Fable 2, which is one of my favourite games. I spent hours on this. I've played through it a few times, and played it good, evil, pure, corrupt, everything, everything in between. And every time I play it, I get a different experience from it. So, very good game that. And I was such a fan, I bought the special collector's edition of Fable 3, which is the one in the faux leather book, which if you open like so, you've got the game, and if you open like so, you've got a pack of playing cards which have the characters on it, and a coin which has a good side and an evil side. So you flip that and decide whether you make a good decision or an evil decision. That said, make an evil decision. There we go. Forza 2. Now, even though I enjoy driving games, I'm not very good at them. I'm pretty good at the kart racing games like Mario Kart, but not with ones that use real physics, because the way I normally play a racing game is I just hold down accelerate and try and drift around the corners and just steer my way through. You can't do that with a real car, and you can't do that with this. Normally when I come to a corner, I'm going too fast and go off, or I don't go fast enough and go, so it's a fun game, but I suck at it. Halo 3, now I recently completed this one. Really good game. I prefer my first-person shooters to be futuristic. I like weapons that don't really exist, ones that are much more powerful than anything that really could exist. I like lasers and all that. Probably my favourite game for weapons would be Turok with the nuke weapon, which is basically a handheld nuclear bomb. cameo elements of power. Now, I remember when this was in development for the GameCube, but because Microsoft bought Rare, they couldn't make games for Nintendo anymore, and then this sort of just disappeared for a bit, and then it were announced for 360. It's not as good as I expected it to be, but it's a pretty decent little sort of platforming adventure game. And I'm meaning to get further on with it. I haven't got that far with it. Lord of the Rings Battle for Middle Earth. Now, this is alright. Again, like I say, a real-time strategy games aren't really suited for consoles, I don't personally feel, but it's not bad. Mortal Kombat vs DC Universe. Now, on the one hand, I think the graphics look beautiful. I like the gameplay. It's nice to see a lot of new characters like the Joker and Batman interacting with the Mortal Kombat characters. But the bad thing is, of course, there is a lack of blood, and fatalities are about as tame as the original Mortal Kombat. Well, actually tamer, because you don't have Sub-Zero's neck rip and spine hanging down. So yeah, no Mortal Kombat game should be this tame. It should, So I'm looking forward, of course, for the new Mortal Kombat that's coming out, which will be back to its gory glory. And also, I am not that much of a DC fan, except for Batman and the bit with Superman. So I would have preferred it if it were Mortal Kombat versus Batman, because then you could have had all the various Batman villains, such as the Joker, Penguin, Riddler, Two-Face, etc., rather than Captain Marvel. To be honest, I'd never heard of him prior to this game. So yeah, and also I think Superman is a bit of a tool, because he caused the worlds to merge. So Perfect Dark Zero. Now, I loved the original Perfect Dark, and of course GoldenEye before it. This wasn't as good. It felt kind of like it was trying to be like more other first-person shooters and less what it was good at. But not a bad game nonetheless. Seen It box office smash. Now, I'm a big movie buff, and that really enjoyed this because I know the answers to a lot of questions. So it's a good fun game that I play with family or sometimes online. Now, this is one of my favourite Xbox 360 games, Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing. Now, I know it's a blatant Mario Kart rip-off. Everyone can see it's a Mario Kart rip-off, but if you're gonna rip off a kart racing game, you might as well rip off the best. And it plays beautifully. I think it could have done with more classic Sonic levels rather than all basing them on Sonic Heroes, which I thought were a bit strange. I'd have preferred going around stuff like Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, Metropolis Zone, Angel Island, rather than Bingo Park, but it's a good game nonetheless. I do have the DLC with the Death Egg and Metal Sonic, and it could actually do with some more DLC with more classic Sonic levels and maybe some other Sega levels as well. But nonetheless, it's I think it's a very good kart racing game, and I'd say it's probably one of the best Sonic games on the 360. And now to the very worst. Yes, Sonic the Hedgehog. I was so looking forward for this game when I saw the trailers and reviews, preview screenshots, because it looked like they'd taken Sonic Adventure and made it so much better. And then I played it, and they made it so much worse. Everything in this game was just wrong. I mean, they had bits in the world sections where you had to fly through hoops like Superman 64, which was considered at the time to be the worst game ever made. And you include that in this, and the fact that you could jump with Sonic and land on the platform, then do the same thing again, and you land in the abyss. The fact that it punishes you with the high speed section, where if you touch anything, you lose your rings. Touch something, and then if you don't have your ring to touch it, you die. And the fact that if Sonic touches water, he dies. Even if you can see the ground underneath the water, he just falls into it and drowns. There's so much wrong with this game, but I really want to complete it just because I am a completist when it comes to my Sonic games, and I really have to be in the right mood just to even attempt it. This, I will say, is the worst Sonic game ever made, probably even the worst game ever made, and Sega should be ashamed with themselves to this day. I know they're getting better with Sonic Colors and Sonic 4, but still, they should hang their heads in shame whenever they pass this game on a game shelf. Any Sega employee who sees this game should just hang their head in shame. It's a terrible one. Sonic Unleashed. Now, this you can go either way with. On the one hand, you've got the Sonic daytime levels where the 3D sections are fun, the 2D sections are really fun, the bosses are fun, and then you have the other stuff. You have the Werehog, which is slow and dull, and then of course you've got the where you have to go around and collect all the little nighttime emblems and daytime emblems, and then get enough to go into the next level, and you have to talk to all these people who say such inane things that you just think, oh, shut up. So it's really good and really bad at the same time, I'd say, this game. And of course there is Chip, which I would say is the most annoying Sonic character ever. I don't care whether you think Silver or Shadow or Marine the raccoon are the worst characters. Chip is the worst character. I wanted the Werehog to eat him. I really hate Chip. Worst Sonic character ever. Star Trek Legacy, which is a pretty good game, a bit tricky, and I think it spends too much time on Star Trek Enterprise and not enough time on the original series. Or I'd have preferred it if they'd have done like the levels divided up into original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine and Voyager, rather than doing 22nd century, 23rd century and 24th century, because a lot of the good stuff in Next Generation, Deep Space Nine and Voyager, it's all clumped into that one level, whereas they should have had more levels for themselves. Tiger Woods PGA Tour Golf 08, pretty decent golf games in the Tiger Woods series. And then same with 09, just new courses, slightly different level, enhanced a bit here and there. EA tend to change very little year from year, so you could probably skip one and every other, just like get them every other year, but it's pretty decent. Topspin Tennis Free. This is one of the best tennis games that I've played. Well, one of the best serious tennis games I've played since Pete Sampras Tennis back on the Mega Drive. But personally, I do prefer playing Mario Tennis just because it's a lot more fun. And of course, You're in the Movies, which is like a pre-Connect, using your body as a motion controller game. It kind of feels like the iToy. Not bad. The fact that you can never get your lighting right, so you always seem to appear blue in it, doesn't really help. And the fact that as well, the same problem as you'd have with Kinect is that you need a lot of space for it. But nonetheless, pretty decent game for what it is, which is not a lot. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.